Hi, welcome to Donna Mae's Kitchen.
This is my own recipe that I came up with on how to make bread. It's a wet dough, but the bread turns out awesome. First, you're going to need 2 cups of water. I would do like room temperature water, not real cold, not real hot. And then what we're going to do, this is the yeast I use. We are going to add, I would say, a heaping tablespoon of yeast to your warm water. And then I always use Himalaya salt. So I'm going to use some salt here. Just kind of sprinkle it in, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, as much as you want. No, not too much, you don't want it real salty. And also a 1/4 cup of sugar. The sugar will help activate the yeast a little bit more. I also add a little 1/4 cup of olive oil. That's my own recipe. You don't have to, but I always like it that way. Now, what you should really do is you're going to let that sit for about maybe 5 minutes. Just go ahead and stir it. Mix it up real good. Then you're going to add 4 cups of flour. Now I'm using bread flour right here, but you can use any flour that you want, all-purpose flour or self-rising flour, whatever you want. Now before I stir it, this is what I'm using. It's called Triology. It has flax seed, chia seeds, and hemp seeds. Great on salads, but also very healthy for your breads. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add about 1/3 cup. Now, I'm going to stir it. It's going to be very, very wet. But that's what you want. It's a wet dough. See how wet it is? But that's okay. We want this dough to be wet. You can add more flour if you want to. It's your call. I like it this way. It still rises and gets really pretty and doubles in its size. Okay, that's all you do. It's all incorporated really good. And so we're going to put a lid on it. And what we do is I put it in the oven. Well, my oven has a bread proofing cycle. But if you don't have a bread proofing cycle for your oven, what you do is you put it in the oven. Do not turn your oven on. And turn the light on in your oven, and that brings enough heat to make it rise. Okay, so it's been in the oven for about an hour. Now again, my oven has a bread proofing app on it, so I can do it that way. If your oven does not have a bread proofing app on your stove, you can actually put it in your oven, turn on the light. Do not turn on your oven though, turn on the light. Let it sit there for about an hour. Hour and a half, and it will double in size. Look at this. Isn't this awesome? Remember, it was all wet. Now it's still going to be wet, but we're going to degas it. This is called degassing. We're going to try to get all this dough down here. Now it's still wet. It's still really kind of sticky too, and that's what you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back out of the oven, the cookie sheet. I'm going to put on, I use silicone. I love these because the bread just comes right out so easy. Now after it has been degassed, okay, and that's what it's going to look like. What I do is I put a little bit of olive oil on my hands because it's going to stick to me. Look at this. It is so wet. Look at that. But this is what you want. So you're going to kind of pull it up here, and you're going to put it in your pans. I've already greased these pans, and it's going to be kind of really wet, but that's all right. If you find that you have more in one, just kind of pull it out a little bit and move it over. Okay, I've already washed my hands. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on top of my stove. This is my white cloth. I think it's called, it's not a dishcloth, but anyway, I use it when I bake. So I'm going to cover this like here. Give it a little poof. Then I'm going to turn my oven, the oven on to 400. And I'm going to set my bread right on top. So as the oven is heating up, this should double in size too. Okay, so it's only been like maybe a half hour, and I had covered it. And look how it's like a second or third rise. So what I do is I pour a little bit of olive oil, not much, on the top so it can really brown nice, just a little bit. And then I kind of brush it on here. That's all you want to do. And now, after it's done like the second rise here, like it's on this, now it's to go into the oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, look what I got. Oh. So that is how you make homemade bread. And I always use this, I don't make any money off of just this, but I really like the silicone bread molds. They just pop out so easy. And I don't have to really spray too much, but I like them a lot. Hi, so this is one loaf. I wanted to show you how it looks when we cut it. I always cut it on the side because it's still so hot. But look at this. This is awesome. Took me all of maybe 2 hours and a half. We've got bread.
Let us know if you have questions.